Coping with stressful times is really challenging. It's very difficult. But what we need to take with us in terms of dealing with a stressful time is a really good mindset, a positive psychological approach. So I'm going to share with you some psychological techniques that you can use. I know it all sounds a bit highfalutin, but it's really quite straightforward. And I'm sharing some positive quotes as well to help us to build that strength that we need, that resilience and that optimism to help us to get through a tough time. I'm Janette, and I'm going to begin with number one, which is mindfulness and staying present. Listen, the present moment is the only time over which we have dominion. That quote comes from Thich Nhat Hanh, and he's telling us that right now, in this moment, this is where we have dominion. We cannot control the future. We certainly couldn't control the past, and we can't go back there even if we want to. So we need to take dominion and authority over the present moment. Mindfulness is a wonderful practice for us, just appreciating right where we are in the now. It's that pause moment. It's taking a break just to appreciate what we have, where we are, and all the good things around us in the present time. It helps us. Scientists have shown that mindfulness will help to reduce the level of a hormone called cortisol that will be in your system. Cortisol will drag you down if you continue to experience high levels of it over a period of time. What will happen is that your body will stop working well. It's a stress hormone, and it will cause inflammation and disorders in your body if left to run riot over a long period of time. So in order to push the cortisol levels down, to push the stress levels down, just appreciate the moment you're in, appreciate the meal you're eating, appreciate where you're sitting, appreciate the weather, appreciate nature, okay? And just pause and say, this is a good moment. Yeah, things are quite stressful at the moment, but right now where I am, this is a good place. And just take that opportunity to appreciate those moments whenever they come. Number two, the power of perspective. That in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. And I love that quote. It's from Albert Einstein. Remember Einstein? At a time when everybody was very, very serious, and that was how they presented, Einstein was very alternative. He was very out of the box. Me sticking my tongue out is a reference to the image we have of Einstein with his tongue stuck out in a formal suit at a time when people just didn't behave like that. But he couldn't have cared less. He was just himself. Albert Einstein was really a precursor for people who came along and discovered that out of their challenges, they were able to make scientific discoveries and bring change. So effectively, mindfulness, staying in the moment, and the power of perspective are absolutely wonderful. You see, the power of perspective is recognizing that things are difficult right now, things aren't great, but in future they will be better. There's also that way of recognizing that a challenge is an opportunity for growth. Yeah, that's what I wanted to hit on. A challenge is an opportunity for growth and change. I think of the scientists and the preeminent Black scientists who made amazing developments such as the traffic lights. Now, come on. I wonder how many people had been killed before we had traffic lights. There were no warnings for anybody, but then we had traffic lights, and that signaling system has helped to save so many lives. We have refrigeration. That saved lives as well, because look, before refrigeration, I remember growing up in London, and my grandmother would tell you, if she was still with us, that they used to set jelly on the windowsill because they didn't have fridges in those days. They didn't have freezers. They couldn't store things. And what that meant was that your potential to become ill, to get a stomach upset, to get a bug, would be higher. It was difficult to preserve food at that time. They managed, we were fine, but it was harder to do. And so out of those challenges and difficulties came refrigeration and other wonderful scientific discoveries, okay? And so this is something that we can use, the power of perspective. Yes, things are tough right now, but they're going to get better. I'm coming out of this stress. This is going to make a better version of me. Number three, self-compassion. Hey, listen, love yourself. If you love yourself as much as anybody in the entire universe, okay, you are doing well. Buddha says, You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserves your love and affection. That's so true. Who should you give it to outside of you? You deserve it first. You deserve to love yourself first. You deserve to be affectionate and kind to yourself. So if things aren't going well, don't attack yourself. Don't start getting mad with yourself. Don't start blaming yourself. Don't start saying, I'm not going to drink, I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to do this. Don't start punishing yourself. Come on, love on yourself. Be compassionate and say, hey, I made a mistake for all the best reasons. I know I took a wrong turn, but I thought it was going to be okay. I didn't realize things were going to go wrong, and that's okay. I'm going to be all right. We all make mistakes. Show yourself that same compassion that you would show a friend. Number 4, social support. The quote I have from Ram Dass says, we are all just walking each other home. I remember being a little kid and I had a friend and I used to walk her home, she'd walk me back. Then I'd walk her home, she'd walk me back. And then it would be getting late, it would start to get dark. I think we were around 10. And so we'd have to split halfway while there was still daylight for us, and then we'd go our own way. And that reminded me of just that level of support. And that's what friends do. We walk each other home. If you're in a difficult space, if you're in a hard place, if you're going through a tough time, a friend will literally walk you home. They'll say, hey, what's happening? And they'll be there for you. So develop friendships with people who are there to support you that you will also support. Number 5, exercise and physical health. My latest quote of my own is, exercise while you can and not when you have to. Effectively, what that means is, whilst you can do it now, just do it. Look after yourself, give your body good care, give it good exercise, take care of yourself. Okay, don't do it when you have to. Don't do it as part of rehabilitation after something unfortunate has happened. Begin to look after yourself now, okay? Use it or lose it. Jim Rohn says, take care of your body. Jim Rohn's a wonderful motivational speaker. He's outstanding. I spent hours listening to him. You'll find him right here on YouTube. Jim Rohn says, the only place you have to live is your body, so take care of it. And he's right. You don't have any other. This is it, okay? Take care of your body. Also, whilst you're exercising, positive endorphins are going to be released, and that's going to make you feel good. And you don't have to exercise for a long period of time to have that happen. That can happen in 10 minutes. 10 minutes of exercise could release those positive endorphins and make you feel really good. Science says our brains are wired to resist change, and my number 6 is embrace change. Your brain is wired to resist it. It fears it. It finds change threatening, and so you have to override that with your intellect and say to yourself that no, embracing change is embracing the one constant in life. Things are always changing. Our brains, yes, they're wired to perceive change as a threat. They're uncomfortable with it. But we have to build resilience and begin to say that I've experienced change before and it hasn't always been a negative thing. Many times change has been a huge positive. It's been good. And so we need to begin to adapt psychologically to that. Number 7, gratitude. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. Oh, I love that quote. Wish I knew who said it. It wasn't me, but it is anonymous. When you look at what you have, don't compare yourself to the Joneses, okay? Don't compare yourself to anyone else, but just look at what you have in front of you. Look at your life, look at your opportunities, look at your health, look at your circumstances, and just be thankful and appreciative for what you have. Yes, things are difficult, but there are going to be some good things in your life as well. Just continue to appreciate them. Practicing gratitude has been linked to a wonderful reduction in stress. It makes you feel so much better when you begin to think about what you appreciate rather than what you don't have. It shifts your mindset away from the things that will stress you out, and it will help you to think more positively. Number 8, focus on what you can control. This is another psychological mind trick. My quote is from Maya Angelou, and she says, you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Maya Angelou is a pioneer of positivity and things of the past not controlling you. You may be aware that in her childhood, Maya Angelou was physically abused. And as a result of that, she spoke up about the person who had hurt her in that way. And members of her family is considered killed that person. And as a result of that, she became mute. She refused to speak because she attached her speaking out with the death of somebody. But isn't it wonderful how throughout her life, Maya Angelou speaking out became adding to the lives of so many billions of others. She gave us life. Her poetry gives us life. You know, Maya Angelou has brought so much more to our lives. She's given life to life, if you understand what I mean. When initially speaking out caused a death that made her want to not speak out at all, eventually she began to realise, with the encouragement, should I say, of her school teacher, that nobody could read your poetry like you, Maya. Please read your poetry. Come on, you have a place in this world, and that involves you speaking out. And she has been a wonderful inspiration and continues to be even after her passing. So Maya Angelou says you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. And that's a decision she made herself. That's a decision that we make today. Science shows that focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot control will reduce your stress. Okay? It's this approach, which is called the locus of control, LOCUS, which helps individuals to feel more empowered and less overwhelmed by external stressful factors. And so you feel more empowered when you look at what you can change, what you can do, how you can improve your circumstances, than you would feel if you consider the things that you can do nothing about at the moment, because everything is subject to change eventually. Going on to number 9, humour and laughter. Humour and laughter are imperative. Look, don't be grumpy when things aren't going your way. Don't demand everyone be silent, everyone be quiet around you, nobody talk, nobody move, don't touch me, leave me alone. Don't do that. What that can do if you have children is to cause them to have an attachment disorder, and so they don't have a secure attachment to you because you've taught them to run for the hills when things aren't going your way, and that they should try to be invisible, and it will impede them later in life. It will make them concerned in their relationships. It will stop them from developing and growing the way that they should. It will cause problems. And so remember that you must allow your children to securely attach and not make everybody want to run for the hills when things aren't going your way. I hope these tips have helped you to begin considering how you can approach the issues you have with stress. Have an awesome day. Bye for now.